Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamevine. Things are looking a little different. This guy has been dethroned just for this video. My name is Trevor. We're back to do a little top 10 action specifically for me because last time we did it, I was out skydiving. So I'm back to give you my rundown on my top 10. Obviously we have
Dave, of course.
Chris.
And we're the peanut gallery. We just want to kind of chime in whenever we want.
Just to mess with me. So yeah, let's go ahead and go forward, and I'll let you know what my top 10 is and see if you like it. If not, feel free to yell at me in the comments. Alright, for number 10 on my list, I have one of my favorite zombie games. I only had 2 zombie games make the list, and the number 10 is Dead of Winter. I really like this game. It's a fun co-op game with the possible hidden traitor. I think at Dead of Winter you aren't guaranteed to have a traitor, right? There's just a possibility of it.
Right,
okay. But yeah, I really like this game. It's kind of difficult if you really are playing like true to the rules. It's tough to win. I mean, I would say at best you've got a 50-50 shot whether or not you're going to win it. But really fun game. I like the components to this game. It's a really big spread out game. It takes a little bit of time, so you don't get to play it as often because you're investing at least like 2, maybe even 3 hours in it or something like that. So
yeah, sometimes.
this, like I said, it kind of snuck in, but I'm a huge zombie fan, and as I was telling these guys before the video, another game I really like, which I think was in your top 10, or was it not? Shadows over Camelot.
Yeah.
Very similar concept. Obviously, one's a little more medieval themed. This is zombie themed. So there was a couple of things. The main thing that I liked about Dead of Winter that took out Shadows over Camelot was that you can gain new followers and new abilities to help in the fight against the zombies. But overall, it was a pretty much near tie between those 2 games, but that's kind of what put it ahead for me. So that was my thoughts.
Right, and you mentioned the cardboard. Now, would you like the game if it had miniature zombies instead? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be even more expensive.
But do you like the art on the card? I think they did a good job with the zombie art, personally.
No, I like
miniatures would be cool, right?
Yeah, and one of my favorite characters, I always forget his name. It's the little dog.
Yeah, Bolt or something like that.
No, it's not Bolt.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But either way, it's a little golden retriever with a cape. It kind of reminded me of Superman's dog. What was Crypto?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So but yeah, the characters really cool in that game. Really cool game. I obviously. Were you the trader one time? I can't remember. No, that was Shadows over Camelot. No, you were trader on Shadows over Camelot.
I wasn't Shadows, but
I like being. I've never
traders. I haven't been a trader in Dead of Winter yet. I would like to see one. I still haven't seen a trader in that game yet.
Yeah, but super fun game. So let's go on to number 9. Number 9 on my list is actually my second and final zombie game, which is Run, Fight, or Die.
Ooh, nice.
I know, back to back. Yeah, they snuck in. But this is a really good game. It's a dice chucking game, pushing your luck, and we actually did a review on it not too long ago, so feel free to check that out for a little more in-depth explanation of the game. But I really like this game, and I know you asked me about miniatures for Run, Fight, or Die. This one actually has them, so I really like the components for this game. I know you were a big fan of the dice on this game, really bulky.
Yeah, I love them.
But I really like this game, super fun, and even though it's every man for himself. I said in the review, I like the fact that you're still kind of, even though you want to win, you're almost kind of rooting for people when they're rolling because you like seeing them make their rolls. So really fun game, and it's just an onslaught of zombies. Really fun game for that reason. I don't know what you guys thought. So.
Oh no, I love pressing my luck. So zombies and pressing my luck is one of my favorite, and it did make a lot of my list. And I think if you watch
I wish it would have made it my list, but no, it didn't.
I
was close. It was like yours. It was like second to something.
Gotcha.
But you were right though. Those miniatures in that game I do love.
And they have expansions. That that boss little token thing. That you can
get
him by itself
as a miniature.
It's an expansion, but yeah, it doesn't come in an actual box.
That'll be nice to get.
But yes.
Well, maybe you should buy it, Dave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Gosh, ruining our gameplay experience. But I know, and just kind of as we're starting off this list, one thing that I was talking to Chris about was this guy's obviously played a lot more games and reviewed a lot more games and so on and so forth. Chris and I have played a good amount, but we were just talking about how I feel like you felt the same way. Our list is going to evolve way more like a year from now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that person. That's why I wanted to get these lists out because I like to see the evolution. I can't wait to see my kid do her own and see how she evolves over the years because that's going to be quite the progression. So let's get on to your next game, right?
Number 8. Number 8 on my list is Lords of Zitit, which I've actually only played once, so that should tell you how good of a game it is, because I've only played it once and it made it into my top 10. And like I talked with Chris, it's going to be evolving over the years. But I really like this game. It's a programming game. It's also you're collecting resources or workers to help you defeat these different monsters as well as titans in the game.
Right.
There's a lot of different ways that you can score in the game. Ultimately, in all the different areas you can put your points in. You just want to make sure you don't come in last in the scoring. But super fun game. I like the components. I love the little dudes, little different colors. The components probably are what sold me on the game, and then at that point, I was just having a blast playing it. You can maybe give them a little more in-depth idea of how...
Honestly, I think you did a great job. As long as you're not last in one of the 3 currencies, bards, towers, and money, and it eliminates people over time. So if somebody is higher than you in this category, or another category, as long as you beat them in one and they get eliminated, you can always beat them in the end. But you did a great job. But the components, everything's beautiful. The board, the little miniatures, and this was kind of a surprise from this company because they made Dixit, which the cards are beautiful there, but they didn't have like a reputation of having awesome miniatures. So
you know what I liked about that game was the miniatures. You actually use those to buy or to destroy
and
the monsters.
senses too. Like you would reveal that after so often, and you would get a little bonus if you had the most of them. So that was pretty.
Well, and it's secret too. People, if they don't remember what you're
absolutely
generating or what you're taking out, they don't remember. They're out of luck. Which I think you and me, you've only played once too, right?
We played together.
So, so did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. It didn't quite make my list, but just the little component part of it was
really
pretty
cool
awesome.
Components.
And like you said, the secret part. I love that aspect of every game. Where you
really have to.
Having to remember what people have.
Yes.
They actually have this on Board Game Arena as a digital game now. So since we can't actually get together and bust this out, because it is a bit of a longer game and kind of a lot of components, you can go to this site and just play it with people, and that's where I've played it the most.
I'll definitely check it out.
And I've played it now 20 times because I take an hour and a half out of my day and I play Lords of Zitit. Now it's in alpha or beta right now, so it's got some kinks, but yeah, that's a good pick. I would definitely agree with that.
All right, on to number 7.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
For number 7, I actually didn't realize this till Dave just pointed it out, is 7 Wonders. So number 7,
I see what you did
7 Wonders.
Yeah.
I really like this game. There's a few on this list that I didn't play, or that I played before I started playing with these guys. So it's got a little bit more of a background for me. 7 Wonders is really cool. You're drafting and passing the cards and drafting. I think it has 3 rounds. Total,
ages,
right? Yeah, so you've got like age 1, age 2, and age 3. Yeah, so why isn't there? Well, never mind. But yeah, so a really cool game. I really like it. Obviously, it's got a lot of different scoring that you can do, a lot of different ways you can try and invest. You might go really heavy into getting the biggest army, or you might go all science, something like that, or you might just go for the bonus cards. And another thing I like about this game, it's really fun if you play with 4 or 5, or maybe, does it go up to 6? I don't know.
It goes up pretty high. I can't really remember, but it might even go up to 7 or so. But at higher games, you don't get to interact with everybody, so I think that's a good thing about it.
Because there's a lot to do with this game that you can buy from people, you can trade, you can draft cards that give you points based on what the person to the left or to the right of you has, or across from you. I think there's one that is across from you. There's also negatives and consequences you can take as far as like army and different things like that based on where you're sitting at the table. But this is a game I played with an old group of gamers that I used to game with a lot. Really good group of guys, but I really enjoyed this game, which, I don't know, have you played this game?
I have played it.
Yeah, you played it a few times before we actually met you, actually.
Yeah, I played it a few times. Yeah, 3 or 4, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I like it. I'll play it. I'm just not a huge fan.
Whatever. Why did we bring you on? You're just going to diss all my games, man.
So we'll get into that. Have you guys even...
We need to do a review.
Well, we haven't, which I'm glad that we waited for you to come along on the team, because I don't know, it has a whole bunch of expansions too. I like it. It has like 3 or 4 expansions, and they have a new 2-player variant called I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically 7 Wonders. 2 people go at it, and there isn't a third person, because if you played a 2-player variant with the base game, you had to play with a dummy player. Here, it's worked out and play tested.
Straight on.
Oh, it's everybody loves it. And the latest one, Babel, actually adds a tower and a whole bunch of big cards that let you interact with different people that are offshoot from your left and right. So it's totally expandable, and I love drafting, and this is definitely one of my favorite drafting games. So good pick for number 7.
I like playing it, but not a fan.
Not a fan.
We'll get into that later.
All right. On to number 6. Number 6 on my list. Actually, we just did a review on Boss Monster 1. Technically, my number 6 is Boss Monster 2 because I've actually only played Boss Monster 2. Boss Monster 1 and 2, not a huge amount of difference to where I would hate the one and not the other.
Right.
But really like Boss Monster 2. Really fun game. It's just a concept I had never been introduced before I played it, so if anything, it was probably the first type of game I ever played like that. We actually talked about it in the review. A lot of it's very nostalgic for me. I grew up playing NES and Super Nintendo and Genesis and then on to N64 and stuff like that, so a lot of the little nods and stuff they have in this game, obviously there's copyright rules, they have to tiptoe around it, but a lot of the artwork, a lot of the concepts on the cards are kind of a throwback to the NES generation, kind of that side view, walkthrough type game. So, but then the gameplay itself is just really fun. It's competitive. You're able to kind of stick the other guy right when they think they're in a good spot. Super fun game. I think, obviously, both of these guys like it. But you know, any thoughts on it?
No, just like you said, with the game part of it, setting it up actually makes you feel like you're playing a video game.
Yeah.
When you set up your dungeon and everything, so
you're like setting up your own level.
But it's like it's like you're actually playing a video game like right in front of you.
They have an app out right now that translates the game that was implementing video games into an actual video game. So you're playing a video-based card game in a video world on this app. So they have that now, and that's actually rolling out. So I would keep a lookout for that. But you know my thoughts. You've seen the review, and I like this game.
Hey, but was it in your top 10?
It wasn't in my top 10.
It wasn't in this top 10. You heard it here. My number 6. On to number 5. We are now entering the top 5 zone. My number 5, you are going to hear literally nothing from this guy or this guy. My number 5 is Risk 2210. Now, I was a heavy Risk player before I got into this group of gaming guys. But I played games like Risk 2210, Godstorm, Lord of the Rings Risk, Original Risk. I played all of these, and even Risk Legacy. We went through, I think there's like 15 games you go before it's over. We played through that once. But Risk 2210, super fun. It's basically, the story is the world in the year 2210. There's nuclear devastation everywhere. You have different commanders. You have a land commander, space commander, naval commander, nuke commander, and a diplomat. And then each of these commanders has a card that coincides, a card type that coincides with that leader. So you can, as you're going throughout the game, spend your energy to buy these different commanders and use them in the Risk world. The cards make it so unpredictable, so fun. I really hate the original Risk. I don't mean to dog it. It started what has come today, but this Risk is so fun. There's so many variants to it. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody could completely destroy your entire army in just one turn just because of the cards that they have in their hand. Really fun game, and I'm sorry that these guys haven't let me make them play it yet. One day, I will sit down and make both of these guys play Risk 2210. One day.
I had a Risk on my list.
You did.
So
it was Star Wars Risk?
Yeah, a question though. So is this like Risk? Does it play like Risk?
It plays like Risk.
Is it a Risk game?
Yeah, it's Risk brand.
Okay.
It's just not mind-numbingly boring like the original Risk is. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that hate me for this. You know, guys that are a little bit older than me probably have a little bit more of an appreciation for it. But it's an awesome game, but a little bit longer. I think even if you're playing with quick guys that know how to, do their turns quick, you're going to be probably playing at least 2.5 to 3 hours. And it might stretch a little longer than that. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting pick.
One day we're going to play it. On to number 4. Number 4 on my list is... What?
That game made number 4?
This game made number 4.
Okay.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Right.
I like this game. It's my list. I can do what I want to.
I know. I just can't believe it's your number 4.
Number 4. Coconuts. It's a dexterity game. You have cups in the middle. You got your little buddy here, which you can see we've added to the table here. You have cups in the middle, yellow and red cups. You shoot these coconuts at them, and if it lands in a cup and stays in the cup, then you get to take that and build a pyramid. If you make a pyramid of 6 cups, you win. If it lands in a red cup, you get to take another action. You get to shoot another coconut. If it's a yellow, you pass it directly to the next person. You can also steal cups from people. If you've got really good aim, you can shoot all the way across the board and get into their cups of the pyramid they're making and steal cups from people.
But wait, there's more, right?
No, there's not more. I hate that stupid game. There are cards.
Waffle cone.
Waffle cone.
Yes.
Inside joke. We won't talk about it too much, but that's the beauty of this game. This game is a social game. I don't care what anyone says.
I support your.
This is a social game. It's technically a dexterity game, but I've never seen myself or any of us that we play with get as animated as we do when we play this game. And for that reason, this is my number 4.
I do like it. I do.
It's high, but I'm totally in support of this.
Well, you
I
know
like this
what?
game.
I don't care, and that's my number 4. And I'm going for the win shot right now. Didn't make it. Nope.
Sure.
Okay.
No.
On to number 3. Number 3 on my list, Ultimate One Night Werewolf. Best party social game I've ever played, in my opinion. Really easy setup. You just have your identity cards. You have out in the middle. You shuffle them around. People take them. You then have a really cool streamlined app on the phone that tells you how to do. It's kind of like the moderator that tells everybody what to do, when to do it, when to wake up.
Close your eyes.
Ultimately, it's similar to Avalon, Resistance, or even if you've played the old kind of just basic card game Mafia. Really fun, but you could literally play 20 games in like an hour.
And not realize it at all.
And have a blast. I've played with these guys, absolutely love it. I've played with Chris and Maya's family. I've played with my extended family at home. It's one of my favorite social party games. Just everything about it, and even the app is super fun. You know,
Eric Summer.
Werewolves.
the narrator,
So
awesome.
smooth.
Yeah.
So smooth.
So I really like this game. It easily makes it to number 3 because I don't know if you've noticed, and maybe I haven't talked about it that much. For me, a huge part of what brings me to gaming is more of the social aspect. I love strategy games, obviously, like Risk 2210. That's not really a social game, but a lot of elements of these games have like such a strong social concept to it. It gets people laughing and having a good time, and that's what's important to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love playing strategy games, and I love winning games. I'm competitive, but I just want to have a good time with my friends and my family, and that's what gaming is for me. So,
Well, at least board game, video games. That's where you can kind of go in and have that strategy feeling. And
video
like,
games, I'll just slaughter everyone to win.
So when you're around people, I totally agree. There. Now the expansions to this. You like them?
I like them. I will say, if you're looking to get this game, I just recommend just getting Ultimate One Night Werewolf and starting there. I think they would expect you to start there anyway. I think you can play the other ones as standalones, but I would recommend getting Ultimate One Night Werewolf to start off.
Get started,
Yeah, just to get a feeling. But I still tend to like those basic original cards more anyway. The expansion kind of gives you some cool things that you can switch up a little bit.
Lot of wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think just the original is still my favorite out of all
Guys,
of them.
we have to play One Night Vampire and One Night Resistance.
We do. I have
We
not
haven't.
played either of those
Neither,
yet.
I don't think any of us haven't. So,
And that
there you go.
actually made my number 1. And all I'm going to say now is just keep a lookout because I'm sure we're going to do a good review on this one.
Very good. This guy actually, now that I think about it, he's the one that introduced me to One Night Werewolf because I didn't play that with the gaming group. I played it.
I took it to
Because he's going to be my brother-in-law, so I played it with the in-laws, and he's the one that introduced me to it.
Well, there you go.
Yep, it's a good game.
Love you.
It's going to his next game.
What? Okay, number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 on my list. As I'm told, I was going to say Settlers of Catan, but from the guy that hasn't even played the game, apparently it's just called Catan now.
Yeah.
So I apologize. But this is another game that I played before I got into this group with these guys. So I don't think either of you have played it, correct?
No.
Another thing
know
I
all
have to
about
remedy.
that. Yeah.
But Settlers of Catan or Catan, just a really fun game. I mean, you're just you're dice chucking and trying to collect resources to build up your roads and your settlements, and and your army, trying to get to 10 points and winning the game. Again, the actual just game itself, there's nothing crazy special to it. It's not super complex or anything super amazing. Really, ultimately, what it comes down to for me is it ends up being such a fun social game. I actually play this a lot with just my immediate family, like my dad and my brother-in-laws and my wife and my sisters and all that stuff. It just becomes funny because everything's negotiable. You're getting sheep, you're getting wood, you're getting wood. You're getting you're getting sheep and wood, not in that order. Hopefully, not what you think. Getting brick or wheat, and you're using this stuff to build up. But you can trade to anybody for any amount of anything.
Sure.
But so it's just fun. It's like I'm trying to convince my dad. I got to get some ore or some wheat or something like that. Come on, there's got to be something, and it becomes very social and trading back and forth.
And the thief's in there.
Yeah. You've got the robber baron, which moves around and really can screw up the game. But I love this game. It's a favorite pastime for me. And one of these days, I'm going to get these guys to play this game as well.
I don't object. Yeah, I mean, it's today's Monopoly, as many have quoted. This game is actually got bought out by a bigger company, and it's no longer with the original company.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good tile kind of hex game, right?
Yeah.
Just and you're building up and trading, and I would not be opposed to playing this. It has so many different variations too. So
yeah, it's got knights and cities.
Star Trek one. That's what it is. Star Fares of Catan or whatever.
Right.
It's something like that. But I would definitely play it, and the masses have spoken. This game is popular and almost everybody loves it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to not like it because this game really made
it's mainstream.
It made board games relevant again to a lot of different people, and now it's mainstream and hipsters are like, I don't like the time. So, but I would definitely play it. I mean, I think I would have a fun experience. Chris,
I'm down.
We're doing it. You heard it here.
All right.
Doing it.
So yeah.
On to number one.
Number
The
one.
whole reason we got here for number one. Here we go. Number one on my list is Sheriff of Nottingham, which we've done a review on this.
It was your first review.
It was the first.
Wasn't my first review?
It was your first review.
It's all, the stars have aligned to bring my number one here in beautiful fashion. Again, this is a fun game because you're bluffing, you're doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of strategy involved. Don't get me wrong. It's still kind of one of those good games. It's similar to Seven Wonders, and you're trying to get each individual category.
Right. Yeah.
You're trying to pick where you want to do. Do you want to get chicken? Do you want to get cheese, bread, apples, or contraband?
Contraband.
Yeah, which I try and get contraband. The first time I played this, I was really good at getting contraband. The second time, not so much.
Well, you did what you had to do, and now we know.
I think I built a reputation for myself, unfortunately. But no, if you couldn't tell from the first review, if you watched it, I obviously love this game. Really fun social game too. It's just the banter back and forth between the sheriff and the person's envelope that they're opening, or even just between other people. Like, I can't tell you how many times in this game that we play where someone is like, hey, I'll pay you 4 gold to open his envelope and screw him over. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Just a really fun social game. If you're really competitive and don't get along well in situations like that, may not be for you because there are going to be
some people,
a lot of back and forth like that. So obviously these guys like it. I don't know where it was on their list. But,
it was up there.
It was on his.
It was on mine.
It wasn't on your list.
But I love it. I mean, the rendition from the Robin Hood and the Hart Den Bren, Dan Bren's, whatever it is, I can't remember what it is. No, Gren's. Hart Den Gren's, the one where you're smuggling over the Mexican border. The re-implementation, this one, the production's fantastic, right? Like, I love the bags, I love the cardboard standee, but I'm not going to add much more. This is a good pick for number one. It's
it's great. I like I like that it has 5 players. It kind of sucks a little bit because I know sometimes we have more than 5 players.
Yeah.
Right.
But I did hear they're supposed to be doing an expansion, maybe?
I mean, I hear it every
It's
day.
been out there for a while.
It's going to happen, though. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
That would be my only downside to the game. I would like to see more
Play with
players.
more people?
I would.
Now, was this also the first game I played with the group? It was definitely the first night
Yeah.
that I ever played with you
Yeah,
It
guys.
was definitely the first night. If it was the first game, who knows? I can't remember.
We'll say it was the first game I ever played with these guys.
It's impressive.
First review I ever did. It's my number one. It was meant to be. Sheriff of Nottingham. this has been my narcissistic top 10 list that I had to do solo because I was out skydiving when these guys were. I wasn't really skydiving, by the way. I don't do that. I'm scared.
And I mandated that we be on here. I had to drag this guy on here just to kind of mess with him because hopefully you enjoyed it, but whatever, right?
Absolutely.
This was fun.
All right.
Yeah. But until next time, this has been Game Vine. My name is Trevor, the leader.
To Dave.
Chris.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Boom.
Number 4. Cooking. Okay. I hate your face. Stop it. We ready? Number 9 on my list is my second zombie game.
Back to back.
I know, back to back. They both snuck in, and I really like them, but they did come in at the bottom of the pack. It's Run, Fight, or Die, which is obviously a duck. Gosh, damn it! We gotta start.
It's a
I can't do it.
it's a
I can't
duck
talk.
game.
I can't stumble.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. A duck chucking. Duck chucking.
Oh, block.
Chucking ducks.
That'd be
I'm
fun.
like, what was he trying to say?
Play that
Dice
game.
Duck?
Let's play Duck Chucker.
Let's play Duck Chucker.
Duck chucker. I'm glad I dropped the F-bomb accidentally. Okay. All right. Bing bang boom. Bing bang boom. Bing bing bang boom. Bing bang.